hello. This is Adrienne, Capricorntigress of Astrology, alookinside.com, and I'm coming to you with the horoscope reading for the sign of Gemini. Hello, Gemini. Hello, and happy January to you, and happy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and happy 2020 to all the Geminis out there. It's a new year. It's a new year. And, I'm actually recording this on the 21st of December, which is the winter solstice. So happy winter solstice to you Geminis as well. And, the funny thing is, Gem, is that there is going to be some emphasis for you guys involving money. Because there's going to be a new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn, actually in just a few days on the 26th of December. And that's going to happen in your 8th house. That's the 8th house of money and the 8th house of sex. And the 8th house of deeper understanding and deep psychological subjects and things like that. So it's actually a time when you can find that other people are giving you money. And, it is a money house. With the solar eclipse there and the new moon, it may start slow and it might just build over the next couple of weeks after that new moon. It's putting the emphasis there, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. What really sets it off, though, is the fact that on the 20th, on the 20th, let me make sure I got my days right. On the 10th, isn't it? Make sure I've got my days right here. What's that? I just realized I spaced out on the days. So sorry, you guys. I want to make sure I give you the right day for that full moon. Here we go. Okay, that's the 10th. Just wanted to make sure. I saw it was at 20 degrees, but it's the 10th. And you guys, when you get to my age, if you don't keep numbers, my goodness. So on the 10th of January, there is going to be a full moon in Cancer. And that, the sun is going to be opposing it. So, the sun's going to be in Capricorn, the moon's going to be in Cancer, and the moon is the natural, Cancer rules, or the moon lives in Cancer. And so there is a possibility that it could be a very emotional day. And the area where that emotion could take place is in the area of money. It could be that it's money that's due to you, or you might find that maybe you have to pay out money that you didn't expect to have to pay out. And so that could be an issue. One of the other things I'm seeing that could be become, I'm not saying it's an issue, but Mars goes into the 7th house on the 3rd of January. Mars is an active planet. It's also a little aggressive. In this 7th house, it could make you a little aggressive in the area of partnerships, like, also enemies. Open enemies is indicated by the 7th house. So with Mars there, it is an aggressive planet. The 7th house is the house of enemies. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you to be cautious of enemies coming out of the blue, especially with Uranus and Taurus going direct on the 10th in your 12th house of hidden enemies. So both Mars is in the house of open enemies and Uranus will be direct in the house of hidden enemies. I really want you to be cautious of that. And I think when you add in Neptune up in the 10th house in Pisces, there's just a little bit of maybe, you can't even see what's going on there. It might seem really pleasant up in the 10th house with Neptune there, because Venus is going to be joining Neptune on the 13th. And it just really seems pleasant in the image that you're giving off. But with Mars in the 7th house, just be aware of that. Now, it could come out in just your relationships, in partnerships, and that could be where the emphasis is really showing up. But I just wanted to discuss it because it, Mars in the 7th house is known for just like destroying relationships. I should know, I was born with it. So yeah, it's not an easy transit. It really isn't. Now, most of the emphasis is going to be in that 8th house for you guys during the month. That's where Capricorn is. And the sun is in Capricorn, and Pluto's in Capricorn, and Saturn's in Capricorn, and Jupiter's in Capricorn, and just a lot. The new moon, as I mentioned, is in Capricorn. The solar eclipse is going to be in Capricorn. There's a lot of darn planets and stuff going on in Capricorn. I mean, I would, really keep an eye on that house. Now, it could just come out in lots of sex and and lots of interacting with someone else. It could just come out that way. Um, as of, well, it looks like the 16th. That's when things start shifting because Venus moves into Aquarius, which is the 9th house. And then on the 20th, the sun moves into Aquarius, which is the 9th house. And the new moon is going to be in Aquarius in the 9th house on the 24th at 4 degrees of Aquarius. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis in the 9th house after about the 16th, after the middle of the month. All that emphasis goes from Capricorn, it starts moving into Aquarius, and it puts a lot of the emphasis into like travel and education and legal things and law and the spiritual principle and the God principle, and maybe even going to church or speaking to uh, people in the legal profession or traveling across the country or anything like that. I mean, it really is a really expansive house. And that's what the 9th house stands for, expansiveness and bigness. It's the natural house of Sag. And so that's, just know that it is a house that has Aquarius on it. So it will most likely make some trines to you Geminis. So I think you Gems might get a little bit of boost from that. The other thing is Venus, as I mentioned, goes into Pisces on the 13th. And lastly, I just wanted to mention about that full moon, that lunar eclipse moon that's going to be in Cancer on the 20th or on the 10th. That lunar eclipse tends to make people a little emotional because it's like full tide. People's emotions go with the tide, and so be aware of that because it's falling in your second house of money, and so money might get you a little bit well, you might get really emotional. I mean, it's Cancer and it's your second house. And so that's where the emotion is. Okay. So be aware of that, Gemini. All right. Well, this has been my advice to you, Gems, for the month of January. I just wanted to come through and tell you a little something, something and get you ready for it. And just know that I think if you keep your eye on your finances, on money, make sure if anyone owes you money or if you've got a check that's due, that you really stay on that and make sure that you're working that out. If there's a problem with your bank, if maybe more money's going out than coming in, then you might want to sit down and work something out with that. So it doesn't seem as devastating because it's kind of devastating right now. And Saturn is in Capricorn and Pluto. I think with Pluto there, it wants to transform your finances. I mean, it wants you to do that. So I'm hoping that you take this opportunity, especially with that full moon on the 10th. And, this is an opportunity to do this. Okay, with the new moon on the 26th of January, or of December, which is coming up in 5 days, and the full moon on the 10th of January, it's all about you thinking about your money. It really is. It's about thinking about your money. So I hope you do that. Much love, much light, many blessings, happy holidays, and I'll see you in 2020. Blessings, Gemini. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next